Good morning and welcome to the Cold War Prepper. My name is Lee. We've got things were crazy over the weekend. I don't think I would have ever imagined that we would be at the point where we are when, 70 years ago when I first came into this country. But here we are. So let me offer a little bit of Reinhard Neubaum's Serenity Prayer, and that is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And, there's a lot of crazy things going on. And so what we need to do is we need to focus on solutions and not necessarily focus on the issues or the problems. I know there's an awful lot of people who are putting an awful lot of this happened, that happened, oh my gosh, this is happening. When we focus too much on what is happening instead of how we're going to overcome it or how we're going to mitigate it, then we end up in this cycle of depression. And when you get too much depression, then you end up stagnant. And when you're stagnant, you don't have a solution to the problem, and the problem overwhelms you and consumes you. Don't let the problems consume you. Let's talk about how we can overcome a lot of the things that we can't change right now, the area around us. What we can do is we can make plans, we can work together, we can collaborate and make the effects of the things we cannot change less detrimental to our lives and those we love, simply by coming together, forming plans, and by preparing for what appears to be inevitable. So what we have to do is we have to pay attention to the news, but we can't let the news consume us. We don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to sit in depression and not do anything, because then we'll surely die. So I'm going to encourage a couple of things. Number one, just find somebody today, smile at them, let them smile back, and see if you can't have a discussion with one of your neighbors, somebody at church. But how are we going to come together in order to form a community so we can survive this? I'm trying to figure out how I can use YouTube to do that, especially for smaller communities. I'm looking, I belong to two different groups. One of them is a statewide group, and we know that's not going to do us any good. It's good for preparing, it's good for planning, it's good for sharing ideas, but it's not good for actually collaborating in the event of an actual need. The other group I belong to, it probably takes up 10% of the size of Texas. But once again, when the pandemic hit, we kind of fell apart because we were having to drive 50 miles to go to a meeting. And the meetings were only 2 or 3 hours long. And what can we do now to reinstitute something like that, where we can have communities, tribes, people of a common accord working together to come up with solutions on how we're going to make it through the other side together? And so if you have ideas on how we can use YouTube to do that, or how I can use my website, coldwarprepper.com, in order to unite people in various areas together of like mind so that we can survive this, then please send me an email and let me, or down in the comments below, let me know what you think we can do in order to get this together. Now, I know that there are a couple of channels out there that have contact boards, and I think those are fantastic. And so I strongly encourage you to use those. And I'll put a list of those down in the links below. It's early morning, and I don't remember the names of them, but one of them is from southern Missouri in the Ozarks, and he puts out a video almost every morning, fantastic video. And the other one is Prepper Nurse 1. He has a website where you can kind of collectively meet people of like mind in a vicinity close to you. But I think that's going to be important. Number one, getting together with other people, forming small tribes, especially small neighborhood clusters. And maybe what we need to do is share, how can we get people together in our neighborhood to form a tribe, a neighborhood tribe, so that we can be there to support each other on a basis when needed. And so I'm just looking for how can we do this. So a couple other things that we're going to be doing here in the near future. Number one, at some point in the near future, I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to invite some people on. We're going to talk primarily about different types of food storage plans, and their experiences with some of the things that they purchased and their recommendations. So I want to get about 4 or 5 people who have a lot of experience in food preparation and have started using some of those preparations, so they can give you an idea as to taste, quantity, quality, cost per calorie, cost per serving, whatever the case might be. The other one I want to do is I'm looking at starting a weekly book club. And what I'm thinking about doing for my first book is taking a look at our government and having a better understanding. I think we're lacking in civics in school, and we aren't teaching the good points about our history and about our Constitution, about our Declaration of Independence, and about the civics that are involved in running a country. And even a small government. So maybe let me see what I can do about putting together a book club on that. If you're interested in a book club and having a weekly discussion on a chapter or two, do me a favor, put down below in your comments that you're interested in a book club, and that you're also, what times are best for you in order to have that weekly discussion of a book. Now, this would require reading a chapter a week. And then finally, I'm going to continue my Building Your Following on Saturdays at 7 p.m. And that's actually the last Saturday of each month. So the next one will be Saturday, the 28th of May. And we're going to have 1 hour we're going to be devoted to, if you're coming on to that live, you are basically agreeing that any other person on there, you're going to follow them. And likewise, all those other people who are on there are going to follow you. I've arranged with a YouTube consultant by the name of Herdy Burke, and that's Herdy Burke Consulting. And he's going to be our special guest during that 1 hour. And we're going to talk about how can we build each other's YouTube channels, how can we support each other, and how can we get the content out there that's going to help other people find us. So a lot of stuff going on. I've got to get going because we've got new flooring being installed in the bedroom today, so I've got to go clean the bedroom out before they get here. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.